What is up, guys? It is CTA here, and we are back for number 14 of Laugh Equals Blinker. So QWillis will be here eventually. Definitely not right now, because he's inactive, but he will be active eventually. Let me share my screen, and I already know what we're gonna be. Actually, I don't, because I'm gonna watch something different. Death equals pen. Oh, but for him. The evil femboy emperor is wild. What the fuck? Fentanyl. Goatum's double blinker for $100. Adding sex to power. What the fuck? That is wild. P. Diddy.
Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Hey, speaking of
This
love,
is love.
I saw a guy on the internet the other day who said he used to be your security guard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
Well, this show has gotten crazier since the last time I... No,
It's all about...
Wild. That is fucking wild. So, I literally just got mad at a girl for fully squirting. What the fuck? That is wild. Imagine if the roles were reversed.
Social media influencers need to go through some type of training on modesty because this is getting out of hand.
Women are nasty now. Something I've noticed. I want to just say this right at the top of 2024. We have become the perverts. What's even more ironic is that as we point the finger and pretend that men are the perverts, Me Too error, it's actually us. We have become the sexual aggressors. Take this one example. This is a social media influencer. She was butt naked and decided to paint blue onto herself and go to the gym to see how men would react. Take a listen.
If you don't have clothes on, you need to be out of here, man. I do have clothes on. That's body paint. How's the body paint? That is body paint. I work in the industry enough to know.
What should have happened is that she should have been arrested for indecent exposure. But again, that didn't happen because men are supposed to just...
Yeah, that's what. Principal found the crack pipe. I have to watch this. I have to watch this, bro.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a real classic hoot and holler, a OG banger. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to make something clear before I dive into this story. There's a couple things I gotta mention. First off, this is a retelling of a very old story that got taken down. Reason that it got taken down is because a few years ago, some of you guys might remember, there's something called the adpocalypse that happened on YouTube, and a fuckload of channels got terminated, and like I even got strikes during this time. And during this phase, I got 2 strikes, and I was 1 strike away from losing my whole channel. So I basically did a Fed sweep on my own channel, and I deleted a shitload of old stories. And for a while, I was debating on whether or not I should make these remakes. And I asked on Twitter today, and the overwhelming majority from you guys was yes. And you guys specifically wanted this one when I asked about it. So let's go ahead and tell this story. I hope you guys do enjoy it. Drop a like if you do. This one was originally posted in the beginning of 2016. I was around, I deleted it. I didn't private it. I fully deleted it. So I don't know the exact date, but it was early 2016. I remember that. And it didn't stay up for very long. So some of you old OGs who have been around for over 4 years might remember this video. But if not, hey, hope you guys enjoy. And if you remember it, enjoy again. Now you guys can rewatch this one that you guys have not been able to watch for over 3 years now. But either way, let's dive right into it. So, This happened way back in early 2016, the beginning of the semester that I spent at my alternative school. And at this alternative school, I've talked about this girl in the past. There was a girl named Amanda who used to pick me up and drive me to school all the time. We'll call her Amanda. And we'd been friends, we went to the same school before we both got sent to this alternative school. So it was convenient for her to pick me up because she lived near me anyway. So she used to pick me up and we'd go do our thing. We'd go to school, right? And one day she hits me up and she picks me up extra early. She's like, yo, let's get fucked up this morning. Like, let's pregame school. I'm like, bet, sounds great. Come get me. So I leave for school way early. We leave like an hour early for school. And we plan on just smoking some weed, maybe getting like we're just going to see what happens, right? So I get in her car. She comes and picks me up. I hop in the whip. I leave a little early. And my mom was already gone for work. She left really early for work some mornings, and this happened to be one of those days. So she didn't even know I left this early. But I dipped out, and I get in Amanda's car. And we're chatting a little bit. I'm asking how our morning's going. And she already had a blunt. So I was like, oh, clutch. Perfect. Let's smoke. So she sparks this blunt. We're chilling, we're talking, and I just, out of nowhere, listen, back in this era in high school, I was capable of doing this. Nowadays, I drink a lot, but I couldn't do this. Back in high school, I used to get drunk at like 7 a.m. And for some reason, I asked Amanda to take me to Walgreens. I don't know what drove me to do it, but I was just like, yo, take me to Walgreens right now. So we go to Walgreens, and back in my day in high school, you OGs have heard a lot of stories about this. I was a goon when it came to stealing. I literally stole so much alcohol from Walgreens that they eventually removed the whole they just stopped selling alcohol at that location. I'm pretty sure to this day they still don't sell alcohol there, because I've been back to this Walgreens recently. I'm technically banned for life, but they don't fucking have a picture of me plastered on the wall, dude, But either way, I go into this Walgreens, and it's like 7 a.m., so there's basically no one there. There's no one even at the register, right? Like, whoever was supposed to be at the register wasn't, standing there. So I walk in, and right as you walk in, to the left at the end is the little alcohol end section, and they had bottles of Henny with no alarm on them. This was the only place that I'd ever been to that had that, unless it was behind the counter. Of course, that's different, but this was a not behind the counter, just in an aisle, bottle of Hennessy with no alarm. So obviously, it's a no-brainer. I'm hitting licks. So I grab this fucking bottle, and I just walk out fast as hell. No one even says anything. I just walk out with this bottle in my hand fast as hell. I get back in Amanda's car, and I'm like, yo, dip the fuck out of here. Get out. Pull off, right? We pull off. We're all good. I got this bottle. I'm feeling great. So now that we've got this bottle, I crack it open, and she's got this little water bottle of her own, and she asked me to pour some in there. So I give her some, and she doesn't drink any immediately. She's like, oh, I'm going to wait till we get to school and get a chaser. And I'm like, that's not a bad idea, because I hate the taste of straight Hennessy. Back in high school, though, it was free alcohol. You can't complain. Listen, it's the same thing with weed. Back in high school, I'd smoke any quality of weed if I felt it. Same thing with alcohol. I would drink any form as long as I felt it. Nowadays, I'm picky, right? Because I'm an adult, and I can be. But back in high school, you take what you can get with that kind of stuff, So, granted, we got some free Henny, but I also didn't really like Hennessy that much. But I didn't care. At the time, I'd drink it at 7 a.m. Didn't matter to me. So we're chilling out. And I'm smacking this bottle of Henny. I'm feeling great. I'm drinking straight out the bottle. I'm feeling like an absolute boss, dude. We smoked this first blunt, and it's just waking me up. I'm feeling great. And eventually, I get hit up on Snapchat by my friend Tina. She was very close friends with Ashton and a couple other friends that I went to this alternative school with, and she herself was quite the drug animal, to put it lightly. She goes pretty hard, honestly. I think she might go harder than me nowadays, but either way, she hit me up and she was like, yo, what are you doing right now? Are you guys trying to link up and match or something? Because I posted on my story that we were together, right? I posted us smoking a blunt in the car, and she's like, yo, we should link up. So I'm like, okay, bet. And I tell Amanda, I'm like, yo, let's go pick up Tina. She'll chill with us. She'll match, right? So we pick up Tina, and Tina conveniently lives pretty close to the school, right? Like, she's maybe 5 minutes from the school. So we go pull up on her. And by this point, I was pretty buzzed. I was feeling pretty decent. And it was later, it was later in the morning. Maybe 45, 50 minutes had gone by. And we had only 10 minutes till school was going to start. But we didn't really fucking care, We didn't really care. Maybe it was more like 20 minutes. But either way, we didn't give a shit. We were going to be late. So we pick up Tina. She comes out to the car and she's chilling with us. And as far as I know, all she's got is some bud, right? All she's got is a little bit of weed. And she ends up busting out some bars and she's offering them to myself and Amanda. And Amanda takes one, but I decline it because I had this whole bottle of Henny. I was like, dude, I'm getting lit off this shit, bro. I'm getting absolutely bussin'. It's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be wonderful. So we're all chilling. We're sitting in the car, and Tina busts out a little bit of her own weed, right? And I had brought some too. So we match. We roll up another blunt. We had one wrap left, and we smoked this. And we're sitting in the parking lot of Tina's apartment, and we're chilling out. We're feeling great, right? And as far as I knew, just them two, they had their bars, right? Amanda, she took her bar. I don't think she popped it. At least in front of me, she didn't pop it. Later in the day, she might have, but we'll get to why I say that in a little bit. But either way, we're chilling out. We're all feeling good. We're smoking up. Amanda's just baked. Me, I'm decently crossed at this point because I've been smacking the bottle. And Tina asked to smack the bottle too, so I pass it back to her. She takes a couple sips, passes it back to me, and I'm just smacking this Henny, feeling good. And I drink a good bit of it. I drank. I'd say maybe a little less than a quarter of the bottle. I wasn't wasted by any means, right? But I was buzzing. I felt great. I definitely went to school drunk, 100%. I was cross, and I was feeling really nice. But after we finished smoking that blunt, we chilled out. And we were just talking and listening to music, right? We were just having conversation, having that blunt talk kind of shit. The car's all smoky. We're all stoned, and we're just talking about stupid shit that doesn't make sense. And I'd say we did that for maybe 30 minutes, and then we decided, all right, let's get our asses to school. So we're pulling up to school, and as we're about to leave, this parking lot and pull to school, because like I said, we're only 5 minutes away from it. We're literally a couple blocks over. And I ask Amanda, I'm like, yo, do you have room in your bag for this Henny bottle? Because I straight up didn't have room to carry this shit. And she's like, oh, yeah, for sure. I'll take it, right? So she takes this bottle, and she puts it in her backpack. I don't know why she brought it in. But she brought it into school. I guess she was trying to, give her friends drinks in the bathroom during lunch and shit. I don't know. But either way, she brought it into school. So she puts the shit in her backpack. We go a couple blocks over and we get to school. And we're going about our day. And I don't really see Amanda again, right? I don't really see her at all at any point again. So I go my separate way. I go to class. I'm a little late. She goes her way, and Tina goes her way as well. And we don't really have classes together at all. I know myself and Amanda had one later in the day together, but in the morning we didn't. So we go our separate ways. And I'm chilling. We get to maybe third period. Nothing eventful really happens. I'm just kind of coming down from being cross-faded throughout the day, and nothing else really goes down. But we get to maybe third period. And I get pulled out of class. And they pull me in, and they're like, do you know why you're in here? And I genuinely...
I don't have any idea why, how would they have any evidence that they were drinking, smoking, or popping bars?
I go straight to the dean's office, and this alternative school, mind you, it's very small. There was maybe 100 students total. It was just all the kids who got kicked out of the other schools in the district who were basically all crackheads. Very small school, a lot of teachers. They literally watch who you come to school with. They take note of that. You have to sign it.
All right, my grandpa's calling for me. I'll be back. I'm back.
All this crazy shit. All this crazy fucking shit. Sign in, sign out. It's crazy at this school. But either way, I get called in. I'm sitting there with the dean. The dean just asked me, he's like, do you know why we called you in? And I'm like, no. And they asked me to bring my backpack. They specifically asked me to bring my backpack, and that's when I know I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm so boned, dude. Like, I'm so fucked. So I'm sitting there and I'm just chilling. I'm like, man, I'm kind of fucked up, you know. Like I'm not really having a good time in this hall. I didn't say that to him, but I'm just thinking this. And he's like, well, Amanda got a little too fucked up earlier today. That's exactly how the dean worded it. I remember. I guess Amanda's might have, I assume she popped the bar, but she started drinking as well, like earlier in the day, and just got way too wasted to handle herself. And they busted her with the shit, right? But the thing is, because they busted her, they then searched her car. This is what the dean told me. Because they busted her with the alcohol being fucked up, they searched her car, right? And in the car, in the back seat, they found a crack pipe.
Damn.
And they tell me this, and they're like, so whose crack pipe is that? The dean says it so bluntly. And at first I'm like, dude, is this guy trolling? Like I actually thought he was joking. I look at him and I'm kind of like smiling. I'm like, because I'm fucked up at the same time. And the dean just pulled me in the office and asked me if my crack pipe is in her car. And I'm like, dude, am I like unconscious right now? Am I having like some sort of weird crossfaded fever dream? Like, what the fuck is going on? But he asked me and I'm like, dude, like, what are you talking about? While I'm doing that, there's a school staff, the school security guy was searching my bag, but I had nothing on me. We smoked all my weed already, so I didn't have shit. I had like an empty pack of Swishers in my bag, but that was normal for when they search kids at school. They don't really care about weed as much, you know? If they find weed, they just kind of tell you to go home for the day. But they're asking me, and I'm confused as fuck. I'm like, bro, excuse me? And they're like, we know you came to school with Amanda. We saw you come in with her and Tina. And I'm not saying shit. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, bro, like, whose crack pipe is in that car? Because there's a part of me that's like, could it be Tina? I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, could it be Tina's? Like, she didn't bust out no crack pipe in front of us, but she is a crackhead. But also, this was before I'd smoked crack, so I didn't qualify for the crack pipe. But what I will say is, Amanda would drive so many people around in that car that I was starting to think, like, maybe someone might have actually just left their crack pipe in the car. But, you know, they kind of have me in the office for a little bit. The dean gets up, and he's like, well, if you want to tell me anything, I'll be back in a minute. And he leaves me in the office with this other, like, security guy. And I guess he goes in to talk to Tina or whatever, whoever they had pulled aside. Meanwhile, Amanda, I'm pretty sure she got sent home. I don't know what they did with her car, but I'm pretty sure she got sent home for the day. I didn't see her at any point. But the dean leaves. He gets up and he leaves. And he comes back, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm fucked up, bro. The dean, he didn't even say anything about me being fucked up yet, but I could just tell by the way he was, like, looking at me. I knew I was sent. Like, my eyes were definitely red. I was decent cross, and I knew that I was fucked up. And at first I thought, I was like, am I about to get away with this? Like, what's about to happen? You know, like, am I going to be good? And the dean comes back in, and he sits down, and he's like, all right. Well, the crack pipe is Tina's, apparently. And I breathe this sigh of relief. And then he looks at me and he goes, but I know you're fucked up right now. And he doesn't say it like that, but you know what he means. He's like, he says, like, I know you are messed up right now. And I at this point, like, I'm just so grateful that I'm not getting charged for the crack pipe, that I'm like, you know what? If the only thing I'm being accused of is being fucked up at school, sure, man. So I'm just sitting there, and I just kind of, like, smile at him a little bit. And he's like, well, we're going to have to suspend you for a couple days for being involved with this. So I got a 2-day suspension out of this, which sucked ass. But I got the least, right? I got the least of the problems. Amanda, I'm pretty sure she got a week. And Tina, she got sent to a way worse alternative school where your parents have to sign a waiver that the teachers can get physical with you if you don't comply with things. I'm talking that kind of alternative school. They sent her to the fucking gulag for this shit, dude. But I was sitting...
A, gulag is wild, but B, that's fucked up.
And I was just like, dude, my semester just started. My first semester of being at this school. And one of the first impressions my principal got of me was he found a crack pipe in a car that I rode to school in. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? But little did I know, maybe it was like a sign, you know? Because I ended up smoking crack pretty soon after, like a couple months later. So maybe it was a sign. It was like some sort of blessing or like some sort of, I don't know. Damn, that's something to really, really think about, really reflect on, dude. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. If you guys want me to retell old vaulted videos, please do let me know in the comment section below. There's a lot of them that I had to take down. Back in the day, I had to take down over 90.
So, let's see. Ooh, most offensive usernames. Yes, this is definitely.
Here's how the average man's life would change if he never saw an ad again. Day 1, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime.
What is the most offensive username? Is it nut in my earhole? 15 is old enough? Adolf A-OK? This is a question I've been thinking about for over 20 years. It all started while playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. In Melee, you only have 4 characters in your name, so your options are quite limited. And at the time, the names I came up with were what you'd expect from a 12-year-old. Gems such as AIDS, MILF, cum. But my buddy John came up with the best username, which was Jews? Question mark? What made the name even better was we all used to go to a tournament at a local card shop. The venue had this huge projector in the middle of it that we used to play our matches on, and of course, John decides to use the Jews tag. Not even a minute into his match, the TO comes over and tells him to change it, in which my buddy John replies, "What are you, anti-Semitic?" So that's how it began, but as I got older, I got wiser and more creative. I knew eventually I'd get an Xbox, and when I did, I'd be ready. Thus began my journey to craft the perfect username, and I came up with a bunch of bangers like Jesus is in white, cocaine for kids, 2 pumps away, fetus deletus, turtle with downs, frothy semen beard, shake da baby, after school date rape, mayo my starfish, abort me, beaten by cop.
This too. Let me see if I can do a double blinker. That's one. I'm fucked already. I think. I'm taking a small hit for the second one. Alright. No, not full screen. Just kidding.
No means yes, and Hitler's favorite Jew. Now, I would have been okay with any of these, but none of them really spoke to me. It was like something was missing. And then it came to me. The most offensive username, which was Bible Camp Victim. Yeah, it's the perfect combination of offensive, funny, sad, thought-provoking. It was beautiful. When I finally got my Xbox, I loaded up Halo, entered my name, and let the chaos begin. I can't tell you how many times I'd hear chat say, "Bro, I just killed what the Bible Camp Victim?" In which I'd reply, like I haven't been through enough. It was perfect. Now, some of you may think the story ends here, but needless to say, this got me into a little bit of trouble. You see, I got a new phone, and it asked me to set up a Gmail account. I wasn't planning on using Gmail since I already had a Yahoo account, so I just signed up with the name Bible Camp Victim. I didn't think much of it, and every once in a while, I'd use it to sign up for things that would just send me spam. Fast forward a year later, and I'm at my insurance company, Allstate. They had a new device that goes into your car and monitors how well you drive. And for the first year using it, you get a 10% off discount on your policy. Now, I didn't want people tracking my driving, but I was also poor. So I said, yeah, I'll sign up for it. My Allstate agent says, "Great, we'll have you set up in no time. I just need the email associated with your account." So I give him my regular email, doesn't work. He says, that doesn't appear to be working. Are you sure this is the email associated with your account? I'm like, yeah, that's my only... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I think you see where the story's going. I obviously don't want to tell him what it is, so I say, you know what? I'll just sign up for this at my house. He says, "No, I'm sorry, you have to do this in the office. It'll be real quick. Just give me your email." Panicking, knowing I have no choice, I think, oh, I'll just spell it a few letters at a time. That way he won't know what it is. So I'm like, okay, it's a B-I-B, L-E-C-A, M-P-V-I-C, T-I-M. He types it in, takes his hand off the keyboard, pauses, and says, "So it's Bible Camp Victim." And I said, at Gmail, .com. Pretty embarrassing, but it gets worse. The email works, but apparently they need further authorization. So my agent has to call someone else in corporate to make it go through. He puts the phone on speaker and the corporate person says,
"Hey, am I speaking to Steven?"
I'm like, yes. They're like,
"Great, we'll have you set up in no time. Brian."
My agent.
"You mind telling me the email?"
So he just comes right out and says, BibleCampVictim@gmail.com. Person on corporate pauses and says,
I think I misunderstood you. What was the name?"
Again, he says, BibleCampVictim@gmail.com. Corporate person pauses again and says,
"Is this a prank?"
Brian is like, no, that's actually his email. Corporate person asks me,
"Steven, is your email in fact Bible Camp Victim?"
And I said, at gmail.com. Moral of the story is, if you're going to change your username to something offensive, make sure to use it at Allstate. They'll have you added there in no time, and their look of disgust will be priceless. Anyway, I want to know the most offensive names you guys have come up with. Let me know down in the comments, and whichever I find funniest, I'll mail, 5 Irish Spring soaps, because you're such a dirty boy. The only rules are it can't contain curse words or hate speech. Pretty much everything else is on the table. Good luck, and may the funniest username win. You know what you want to do. Oh, you want to push that subscribe button. Oh, push the button. Push the button.
From recent grads.
That's wild. This one's going to...
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle. Trapped in...
See, both of my parents did opioids. My mama heroin. And my father on opiates. I don't know. Both my parents were drug addicts, so my mom did heroin, and she also tried meth, or actually she did meth before she did heroin, and my dad, he just took pills and shit. So, aren't pills like opiate? I don't know, Xanax.
In a cycle of opioid use, withdrawal, and cravings.
If every types of people was in a video game, what would their stats be? Let's start out
with the blacks.
HP, low. Turns out not having great access to healthcare means you don't live as long. Buffs, Johnson size. Debuffs, credit score, and fat white women. Strength, I'm gonna say pretty high. Speed, high, but not high enough to escape their masters, apparently. Resistance, awkwardness. Black people are just born with a certain level of swag, and have maxed out their support levels. IQ, low. And don't blame me, you're the one skipping school. Sure, you come from a single-parent household with a father in prison and teachers who don't want to put in the effort, but not getting good grades is still your fault. Oh, well, I'm smart. Okay, here's a math problem. You have $250. The stock market goes up an average of 7.5% a year. How much money do you have at the end of the year? The answer is nothing, because you spent it on a new pair of Jordans. Endurance, incredible. I mean, they literally built America. Luck, terrible. To go from slavery to segregation to finally getting your own Band-Aid color is pretty unlucky. Stealth, depends. In daytime, it's terrible, but nighttime, it's max. The only thing you'll see is floating Sauron eyes with an occasional puff from a Newport. Special ability, better at all sports. Have you seen the top 20 basketball players? It's black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, random outlier, black eye, black eye, black eye. Next up, Asians. HP, massive. In the United States, they have the highest life expectancy. Probably because dying isn't nearly as bad as bringing your family shame. Debuffs, sorry Asians, God did you dirty in the Johnson department. Buffs, luckily to balance it out, he made every Asian child size. Strength, in relation to body weight, high. Compared to
child size, that is wild, man.
any black person, low. Speed, average. Unless it's a hot dog eating contest. Then they're an expert in farming. Resistance, proud parents. IQ, Asians are close to maxing out their IQ. I guess having your teacher beat you with a rod, then having your parents beat you with the same rod, is a good way to increase work ethic. Happiness might exist if they had Christmas. You know why Asian kids don't believe in Santa? Because they're the ones making the toys! Endurance, very high. Work.
That is crazy.
In a sweatshop is hard, and I should know because I've walked a mile in their shoes. Luck.
Zinger after fucking zinger. What the hell, man? Bruh.
Average, which isn't surprising considering most of them are bots. Special ability, invisibility. I don't even know why ninjas wear masks when you can just back up 10 feet into a crowd and completely disappear. Next up, whites. HP, above average. Buffs, jab applications. Debuffs, a girlfriend with no gag reflex. Strength, physically average. Strength in dominating other countries, max. Speed, like kids on Adderall, high. Resistance, accountability. IQ, average, as we have the smartest and dumbest people out there. I can't even believe Einstein and Vin Diesel are the same species. Happiness, low. You think it'd be high considering we conquered. I can't even believe Einstein But with every technological advancement, we just invent new ways to get depressed. Like my magic phone keeps buffering Django Unchained. Ugh, now I know what being a slave feels like. Endurance, average. Luck, max. Aside from being a man in a first world country, you can't get much luckier than being white. Special ability, winning. White people are like a DLC character that's just better than the rest of the cast. Don't believe me? Go to any museum and check out our KD ratio. Next up, Japanese. HP, well, they have one of the high suicide rates, so very low. Buffs, tentacle porn. Debuffs, strength, pretty high, probably because they have a small hitbox. Speed, above average, unless it involves their Nezuko body pillow, then it's feverish. Resistance, big titties. IQ, very high. Japan is on the forefront of technology. They got bullet trains, bidets in every hotel, and there's spots that don't judge you. This doesn't normally happen to me.
There. You tried your best. Would you like me to eat your butt now?
Yeah. Happiness, pretty low, unless you get lucky and have 2 used panties dropped from the vending machine. Endurance, very high. 2 nuclear bombs prove they're good at tanking. Luck, horrible. If you're a girl, you've probably been groped on a train. And if you're a guy, you can't even grope someone without them complaining. Special ability, if you put an unsolved Rubik's Cube in a Japanese woman's... Sorry.
Oh,
no.
Really I remember this one.
Okay. If you put an unsolved Rubik's Cube in a Japanese woman's cooter, and it comes back solved, she's pregnant. Next up, Koreans. HP, well, their life expectancy is around 83, so very high. Buffs, Gundam style, and BBQ. Debuffs, driving. Strength, it's hard to tell because all the characters use the same skin. Speed, need for. Resistance, feeling loved. IQ, very high. Koreans tend to excel at math. Probably because their dog can never eat their homework. Happiness, Koreans have maxed out their sadness. In America, we're great at ending each other, but South Korea, they're great at ending themselves. Koreans have the highest self-slaughter rate, which might be because of their parents. Korean parents are born with disappointment in their children, which is a great motivator if you want your kid to become a CEO, so he can jump from a higher window. Endurance, very high. Every other week, their next-door neighbor threatens them with nuclear warfare, and yet they still find a way to dance to shit music. Luck, low. This is considered sexy in South Korea. The dude looks like a big toe that wished he became a person, then decided to have a sex change. Special ability, can lower their frame rate when dancing. Next up, Mexicans. HP, above average. Buffs, manual labor. Debuffs, paying taxes. Strength, high. Cockfighting taught them to go for the jugular. Speed, very high. Can complete any construction project in half the time of a white person. Resistance, birth control. IQ, low. If they were smart, they'd kidnap their racist farm owners, unionize, pull their money together, buy the farm they're originally working on, then hire another poor race to do the work. Happiness, pretty high, which is surprising considering they spend most of the game completing escort missions. Endurance, max.
Bro, this dude, he's too damn creative, bro. I'm like, damn. Whoops.
You ever seen a Mexican not hustling? You can call them drug dealers, criminals, bums, and they'd still be like, "Si, senor." So the whole lawn and the hedges? Luck, terrible. You're so close to America, and yet so far. Special ability, border crossing. Next up, Indian. HP, well, they believe in reincarnation, so I guess that means they maxed out their HP. Once it goes to 0, the game just resets with a new character. Buffs, Krishna. Debuffs, reality. Strength, it's gotta be high if they can drink their water and not instantly get diarrhea. Speed, slow. Too many people are playing Train Simulator, causing it to lag. Resistance, spicy foods. IQ, average. They recently landed a rocket on the moon, and yet half their population can't even spell rocket. Happiness, low. There's no such thing as your own room in India, just a spot on the ground. Endurance, well, if we're talking about keeping their wife in check, then it'd be max. Luck, very low. India is one of the most densely populated places on the planet, and they only have like 7 toilets. Special ability, can respawn with a different character. Next up, Native Americans, who are in desperate need for a buff. Their HP is very low. They have the worst life expectancy out of all the races. Probably because a shaman shaking maracas doesn't help cure cancer. Buffs, peace pipes. Debuffs, spawn camping. Hey, what are you doing on my land? Strength, low. You know what beats a bow and arrow? Any gun. Speed, very low. Which would you rather, 1 horsepower or 640? Resistance, fast travel. IQ, low. If Pocahontas was smart, she would have blown her way to the top. Honeypot the enemy into revealing some of their war plans. But instead, she was too busy getting her clam wet, as her people were the ones actually getting f***ed. Happiness, depends how good my trip is. Endurance, very low. I'm pretty sure there's only like 14 left. Luck, low. That dream catcher isn't preventing nightmares. It's making you live one. And special ability, obviously, tax-free land. Next up, Muslim. HP, depends if they're wearing the vest or not. Buffs, oppression. Debuffs, equality. Strength, very high. Praying 5 times a day to someone who doesn't let you taste sin is next level devotion. Speed, low. That camel isn't beating my horse. Resistance, Christmas spirit. IQ, very high. Convincing half the population they're an NPC is really quite insightful. Happiness, well, if you're a man, high. If you're a woman, then you better hide those ankles. Endurance, max. Fasting while it's 112 degrees outside really builds your tolerance to neglect. Luck, sir, you've been randomly selected for additional screening. And special ability, can speed run their way to another dimension. Next up, Irish. HP, low. The liver can only take so many critical hits. Buffs, storytelling. Debuffs, alone time with Father Cunningham. Strength at holding me down, max. Speed, low. Hard to outrun your problems when you're sitting at a bar. Resistance, therapy. IQ, low. Maybe if you stop believing in genies, you'd stop asking for wishes. Happiness, low. Hard to feel special when your child's 6 of 9. Endurance, high. Survive potato famine, war, and inbreeding. Luck, low. A 4-leaf clover isn't gonna make her bend over. And special ability, being a white immigrant. Next up, Italian. HP, very high. Apparently talking with your hands is good cardio. Buffs, gaudy jewelry. Debuffs, controlling their temper. Strength, plus 10 every time someone mentions family. Speed, Jesus, do they even have traffic laws here? Resistance, shame. A wife beater isn't a shirt, and kissing your mom on the lips is gross. IQ, high. Figured out a way to monetize bad engineering. Happiness, high. Hard to be sad when you have a Vespa, some wine, and a mistress. Endurance, low. Are easily triggered by pineapple on pizza. Luck, moderate. Their pasta isn't greasy, but their reflection sure is. And special ability, culinary enchantment. Any meal they make adds plus 20 happiness. Next up, British. HP, average. Strengthened by sarcasm, weakened by hugs. Buffs, accent. Debuffs, hearing the word reparations. Strength, high. It takes strong willpower to eat their bland food. Speed, high. Probably because they're always running from their feelings. Resistance, compliments. IQ, very high. Brilliant at figuring out how to exploit others. Happiness, very low. Anytime one of them smiles, someone will say, "Oi, look at this over here." Endurance, high. Decades of rain and bad weather have made them impermeable to emotional attacks. Luck, average. Lost their empire, but somehow kept the Commonwealth as a consolation prize. And special ability, Imperial Kirby. Can absorb abilities from other cultures. Next up, Jewish. HP, low. Turns out anxiety doesn't help your immune system. Buffs, negotiating. Debuffs, side profile pics. Strength, comedy. Turn generational trauma into stand-up gold. Speed, average. Quick when they smell a sale, slow to pick up the check. Resistance, tipping over 10%. IQ, low. 40 years of roaming the desert and not one of you said, "I don't think this Moses cat knows where he's going." Happiness, very low. A Jewish mother can make you feel bad about something you didn't even do. Endurance, max. They're borderline unkillable. Poverty, plague, camps, nothing seems to work. Luck, terrible. On top of being history scapegoat, again, side profile, not the greatest. And special ability, passive irritant. Who uses the urinal next to someone when there's clearly other options available? What? You don't pee next to someone unless it's the last option, okay? It's Monday, Friday, Wednesday, and if those are taken, you slip into Tuesday or Thursday. What does it matter? This isn't a team-building activity, okay? And if you must know, I got a little bit of a shy bladder. Just pretend I'm not here. Well, your arm rubbing up against me isn't helping my stream.
It's a public restroom. I'm allowed to use whatever urinal I want.
You had the end spot. That's prime real estate. But instead, you decided to stand shoulder to shoulder?
How about we just go back to ignoring each other?
Fine. Do you really have to moan? So after crunching the numbers, I can safely say that people with the best stats are, drumroll, the whites. Obviously, we always win. Sure, other stats might be better, but there's no patch notes for how broken we are. So that's my vid on which race types of people have the best stats. Probably a little different from some of the other content you've seen on YouTube. And that's for 2 reasons. 1, because most people are talentless bitches. And 2, because they're afraid. Afraid of trying something new. Afraid of getting canceled. Afraid of seeing a green icon turn into a yellow icon! But greatness doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from taking chances. And if you want to make generic 8-minute vids, copying or reacting to other people's ideas and attempt to give handies to the algo, then you do you. But your boy just can't do that.
Blood got fucking shanked, bro. Bro, he's shanking Sniper Wolf to death, bro. But I'm like legitimately trying to make fun content, so I'm doing a laugh equals blinker, you know?
That when I hear an idea like which streamers are bottoms or Drake Dating Simulator, I just feel compelled to finger bang it into existence. However, this comes at a cost, and that cost being money. Now sure, I could go the Tatman route and sell drugs to kids, but I'd rather do something a little less soulless. So if you want to support your boy, then subscribe to my brand new compilation channel, Offending All Day, where I can spend all day thrusting my ignorance in you. You know what you want to do. Oh, you want to push that subscribe button. Oh, push the button. Push the button.
Yeah, my family needs me. Yeah. Alrighty, fellas. Bad news. I got to go. I'll talk to all y'all later.